Hi everyone. Today I want to share a cute little card. Well, it's kind of pretty soft card using this Sending Support stamp set. Now this stamp set is only available for Celebration, so it only has a week and a few days left where you can order the Sending Support stamp set. It's free with a $50 purchase. And I really like it because it has a lot of sentiments that maybe you wouldn't necessarily have on hand already. Not birthday, there's no thank you in here. But there are things that are nice to have when you need them. And I just think that this is such a pretty stamp set and such a great addition to any stamping collection. I like that you've got this, My Shoulder Is Yours, and I just think it's really nice. It's okay to not feel okay. So sometimes this is nice to send a little card. Sometimes you know someone's having a bad day, you can send them a little card. Sometimes people don't want to talk about it necessarily, but if they get a card that just says, hey, it's okay, you're gonna be okay, or it's all right, it's a nice thing to send. So I wanted to show a little card that I'm making with this set. So I wanted it to be soft and pretty, and I am using this paper that I'm loving, and this is also from Celebration. I'm going to show it to you. If you've already seen it, skip ahead a little bit, but it's really pretty. It's called Dainty Designs, I believe, and this does not do it justice. This is a huge pack of paper. It's like 48 sheets, double-sided, 12 by 12. I mean, it's thick, the pack. And the picture, I think, doesn't show you the softness of some of these patterns. It's such a tiny little photo that you don't see it up close, and I just love it. I'm using it like crazy. Today we're going to use this one, and it's just really pretty. The backs and fronts are gorgeous. There's a couple different color families going on. There's kind of like some warm tones and some cool tones. This is my second pack. I used a ton of this at stamp camps and things. I love this one, this combination of blues, and then you've got some greens. There's just really nice combinations, and I think it's really a great pack of paper. And anyway, I'm showing that to you. Take a close look at it. It's really pretty. I don't think I have any left of my favorite maybe there's a scrap left of this one. That's my favorite, and I used it a ton on like cards that show up. Like this is all that paper stamped from the same pack. Really fun. I have a video on this card, and I used it on this one, which is I just love the color combination. I'm telling you, I'm using it a ton. Super great. So that's what this paper is from, Dainty Designs. It's also Celebration, so this is also free. That's actually such a big pack that's free with a $100 purchase. So the stamp set is free with a $50 purchase, paper with a $100 purchase. If you spend $150, you would get both of them free, and also Stampin' Rewards. Don't forget that those qualify for Stampin' Rewards still qualify even though it's Celebration is going on. So if you have any questions about all that, please contact me. I know there's a lot going on right now. So I'm using a base of thick white paper, thick basic white. Now basic white comes in thick and thin. I like the thick for a card base, and I use the thin for other things like pieces and layers. So the thick is heavy like a cardstock, and the thin is just a little bit thinner, and it's nice for punching things out, and it's less expensive. So use the thick for your card bases, and then use the regular for other pieces. So I've got that, and then I've got, this is for the inside. I like to, whenever I use a white base, it's kind of simple to keep it that way, but I like to add a little something at stamp camp. So we were going to use some pale papaya, and then another piece, but this time regular white. And I like to, when I have scraps left over, I like to use them. These little skinny strips of paper that are always left over, I like to add them to my card. So that's going to go there. I'm going to stamp first. I'm just kind of showing you what we got. So we've got, this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This is 3 3/4 by 5. We've got our card base. This is just a scrap. It's probably 1/2 inch or 3/4, whatever it ended up being, scrap, about a little over 1/2 inch. And then I cut another piece. It's from the same Designer Series paper pack. And I've got this one, I think was more intentional. I think I actually trimmed this one. Yes, and it's 5/8, and I think it's by 3, 5/8 by 3, and then I've got a piece of white, the same. And then I've got this piece of vellum, and this is 4 by 5 1/4 and a piece of fresh freesia. This is just for some stability and to hide the adhesive and the back of the ribbon, and it just adds another little layer and some more prettiness. So we've got that going on, and then we're going to make some flowers. Now my main point of this video is to show off this awesome paper and this awesome stamp set. The dies I'm using are on back order. It's so hard these days with supply chain order issues to have back orders, but it's this Dainty flower, what is it called? Dainty Delight dies. But you know what? You can use any floral die that you have, and there are a ton. I was going through mine. I was going to change it, and you know, there's so many. I have so many floral dies, but then I'd have to make another sample and change things around. I decided, you know what? You probably have a floral die. And what I really wanted to show is how to watercolor some paper and cut out that floral die for just a little added something, I don't know, just some pretty. So that's what we're gonna do. So I just have a piece of scrap watercolor paper, and all I need to do here, got some adhesive on it, is put some color down. And you kind of just have to know what dies you're using and how big they're gonna be to make sure that you're gonna cover it. I'm gonna use this one and this one. And so I'm going to just take some, I have my water painters. I know they changed them. Now they're like this. I wanted my thicker, they come in 3 sizes. And I wanted my thicker one, and I can't find it. I think it's in my art bag that I take with me. So I'm using this old one because it's a little bit thicker, because I just want to make a mess. I want to scribble. And then I need 2 of these, so I'm kind of eyeballing how big that is. And looks like I need to put some more re-inker in my lid. So this is Pale Papaya. This is a color that's retiring soon. It's really pretty. So it'll be sad to see it go, but I'm always excited for new colors. So if you want that color, you should grab it. So I'm just going to kind of put down some Pale Papaya, enough to where I know it'll cover 2 of these. I think I'm already there, just in case. Okay, then that off, I'm going to put down some green, and I'm going to use Parakeet Party, which you might think is really bright, but when you watercolor, it kind of tones down the color a little bit. So, and I knew I had some ink in there, so I'm going to use some of that, and we're going to paint our paper. I'm sure that's enough. Okay, now one of the things I like to do when I do this is let it dry for a second. You can use your heat tool and kind of just let it dry, flap it in the wind a little bit. And the reason why is because when I add more ink to this, if I didn't let it dry a little bit first, it would just start to kind of melt into the others, and you won't get a lot of different tones, darks and lights. It'll all be one color. And I like the idea of darks and lights because I don't want this to look like cardstock. I want it to look painted. So I want it to have darks, lights, areas that don't have a lot of paint, stuff like that. And this is such a small little flower that you might not see it as much, but I saw it. I think I can see the difference. It's funny, at Stamp Camp I had that option, and everybody just chose to cut it out of the cardstock. See? I was like, what? So funny. I always give people a hard time because I love to watercolor, and not everybody does. What? I know, crazy. But if you do, this is for you. All right, so I think it's dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with the green, and I'm just going to give it areas where it's darker, and I'm being just kind of messy. Let's see if I can throw a little more green in the lid. No. And I'm just tapping, and see, it didn't dissolve into. I'm going to get my re-inker. So I'm just picking up some of that Parakeet Party, and I am going to go like this around a little bit. Hold on 1 second, someone's knocking on my door. Okay, I'm back. My daughter was knocking on the door. Okay, so you can see I've got some darks and lights. You're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of that on this skinny little stem. but I like to do it anyway. And then we're going to do this one. Same idea. Let me rinse my brush, and I'm going to kind of just another thing you can do is once you've cut this out, you've cut your dies out, you can add some color then to areas you think need it. Because who knows, maybe I might cut all my little tones out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these out. Alright, so when I'm done, I want to show you the one where I didn't bother painting and I used the cardstock because I had that as an option for people that I knew there was some at Stamp Camp that weren't going to want to paint, but I didn't think that all of them wouldn't want to paint. Actually, I'm not sure that I offered it to the last table because it was getting late. Now, if I'm being honest. Okay. I should say that even though these dies are on back order, they are supposed to come in on the second week of March, I believe, is the estimate. So the stamps are still available, it's just the dies that are on back order. So you can always get the stamps now and do the dies later. Okay. So like I said, I can see darks and lights here, but if you don't feel that you can see it enough, you can go back in and add some more little highlights in areas that you think will show up more. I just love the look of watercolored pieces, and I think it's worth that extra step. There we go. Okay, let me see my stem. See how soft, even though it's Parakeet Party, it's soft. I think I might leave those alone. Nope, can't help myself. All right, just want a little. Obvious color differences. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry while I assemble the card and do our stamping. Oops. Okay, so for our sentiment, I want to put it on this little piece of white here, and then I'm gonna flag the end. So I want to use this one. And it says there are so many ways to feel right now, alone, and then on the inside it's going to say alone shouldn't be one of them. I really like that. So nice. Okay. Got a little straggler butterfly on my block there. Okay. So okay. And then on the inside, I'm going to do that. Alone shouldn't be one of them. There we go. I forgot that I just re-inked this gray, so I forgot that it would be so dark, but that's okay. I'm gonna not touch it because it's so juicy. I forgot that on the inside I wanted some flowers too, so I'm actually gonna hope that I have enough space here for a leaf. I know I have enough for the leaf, but let's see. There are these teeny tiny little flowers in the pack. And all I want really, if If I had planned better, I could have got them out of there. Oh, I just want the one. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, I got this one. If I layer them, or I could just add some more paint on there. Maybe I'll add some more to the center. Okay, now while that's drying, let's put our card together. So for the inside, I said I had this one, and pale papaya. Just a little something on the inside. I like to add something. Should I bother putting these other ones in there? I don't think it needs it. I'll add those to my little collection of flowers to use later. Okay, so now I am going to start on this. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach my piece of fresh freesia to my vellum. And I'm going to use this pale papaya open weave ribbon. Now I am going to do the cheat way. Oops. And not actually go all the way around. I find it so much easier to be able to tie my bow separately. And then over here, I'm going to add this little circle. It's going to kind of go behind the flowers, but then this vellum is going to soften it up a little bit. So it's kind of centered, but actually I scooted it slightly to the right. Now, I think it is safe to, oops, I keep getting a mess on here because my paper is wet. Sometimes I can wipe off vellum. Let me see if today's the day. Yep, okay. So I want to add a little flagged end to my sentiment here. So I like to just kind of go up the center and then meet it in the middle. And I know I have a punch for this somewhere. And I'm kind of just wing it kind of girl. All right, now, even though I'm not going to go through here with ribbon, I like the look of that. I want to make it look like it's attached to the ribbon. So I am going to hole punch this, but we're not using that hole. All right, and I glued these together just because I want them to stay how I want them. I want that purple fresh freesia sneaking out behind like that. Okay. So I'm gonna tie myself a bow. we go. And then I'm going to use glue dots. You probably saw I've used so many different types of adhesive. I like different adhesive for different things, so it's nice to have a variety on hand. Okay, so I'm going to use glue dots. Oh, first I want to put down my flowers. Forgot about those. Okay, now what I like to do with skinny little pieces like this is use adhesive sheets. However, because I watercolored and I thought I might want to watercolor and add more water afterwards, I didn't know if that adhesive sheet would stay, so I didn't use it, but that's okay. You only need just a little bit of glue, and I like this liquid glue, so I'm going to just add that. And I know that my flower tufts are going to end up there. Stick this down for a second while I add some glue here. So now I'm just going to kind of dab little dots of glue. All right, let that sit. Okay, now I have a glue dot stuck to my thumb. Now I'm going to add one glue dot underneath the ribbon where I want to have it tied, just so it doesn't move around. And then I'm going to take my little sentiment here and glue that down. Oops, not far enough over. There we go. And then I'm going to put my bow right here, and I want it to be where you can still see this little hole. Because I don't know, I feel like it's the little details. Sometimes people think I'm a little crazy with these little details, or they say I'm the only one that sees them, but that's okay. It's okay if I'm the only one. I know it's there. I know that hole is there. I'm going to put another little glue dot, and I'm going to put this down right there, and then you can see that hole, and it looks like it's going through. All right, you tell me, is that worth that? I don't know. It makes me happy, so that's the important thing. But if you don't like that, then that's okay. Nobody knows but you. Okay, so there's the outside, and here is the inside. And I think it's super sweet, and I think the sentiment is a really nice one. And I think there are a ton. I like my shoulders, yours. It's okay not to feel okay. Some days are harder than others. There's a mom who is like, she's really actually amazing. But recently was kind of down on herself on her Facebook page. Like, she totally is killing it 364 days a year. So one day, you know, is not bad. And I kind of thought she would be perfect to send this one. So I might send that, just because she's a friend, and she might, I'm not going to call her and say anything. I just want to send her a little card, and she'll appreciate that. And she doesn't watch my videos, so I know she won't see that. All right, there you go. There is my card. Oh, I forgot the little butterfly, and there was one hanging out on a block. Yeah, but he lost his glue dot. That's okay. I will give him another glue dot. I love these little brass butterflies because they are flat. So when you mail something in the mail and these little butterflies are on there, they won't tear up your envelope. Here, little butterfly. All right, now it's done. Okay, so see how I painted this one? Here is the other version where I didn't paint it. They're both cute, and this is before I put more ink on my pad. But which one do you like? I mean, they're both nice, so if you didn't want to paint, it's still a cute card. All right, which one? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, celebration ends soon. Click that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I post a new video, which is hopefully every week. And take a look at the Sending Support stamp set, which is going away soon, and the Dandy Designs amazing huge pack of designer series paper. Bye-bye.